Morning car lovers, welcome back. I'm Bobby Freeman. Today my friends, you join me on a gorgeous sunny southeast, it's not actually southeast London, it's actually Kent, the Garden of England. But anyway, it's very, very sunny and we're going to be looking at one of my favourite cars, which is what I say at the beginning of every video, but this one genuinely is. It's the Porsche Cayenne. Now, I wanted to make a video about this because if by the way, if you're not familiar with the Cayenne, imagine the Porsche 911, okay? Imagine the Porsche 911 is, bear with me, it's a slightly weird way of describing it, but imagine the Porsche 911 is Bruce Banner, okay? Then the Cayenne is the Incredible Hulk, so bigger, stronger, angrier, more scary and, well, not green, but you know what I mean. And it's actually 22 years now at the time of recording since the first Cayenne was released back in 2002. And I believe I'm right in saying it was the very first sports SUV. Certainly it was the first sports car manufacturer to move into the realms of SUV. And I remember at the time people were like, how can Porsche make an SUV? This is ridiculous, you know, but well, it did work. However, it was questionably, well, I'll put it bluntly, it was bloody ugly. It was an absolute ugly, fat pig of a car. However, what they did do was bring the Porsche engineering and all that sports car kind of essence into an SUV, particularly the turbo, and that was back in the days when it was a 4.8 V8 turbo. And I remember driving one for the first time just thinking, my God, this is absolutely incredible. They've made a great big, fat admittedly, but a great big SUV that drives like a sports car, and indeed a Porsche. And since then it's gone through various incarnations, and this is obviously the latest one. It looks very, very different now. I think they've definitely, you know, all those problems with the aesthetic problems, they've completely and utterly ironed out, because it's a gorgeous looking thing now. And I wanted to make this video as a kind of a homage to something really incredible and something that everybody else, you know, particularly a lot of sports manufacturers, followed on and tried to recreate. But I don't think many of them really got it quite the same as Porsche. So I'm going to be taking a look at it today for you and looking into the history and talking about it and chatting a load of old shit, and well, that's it. And if you like the sound of that, a balding man in the sunshine getting steadily burnt talking about a Cayenne, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you can watch lots more videos like that. Well, yeah, like that. Now, before we have a look round it today, this Cayenne was lent to us by the lovely people at Prestige Cars Kent. They have an amazing array of not just Cayennes, all sorts of prestige cars. And if you're a fan of prestige cars and you're in the vicinity of the Kent area, I suggest you get down there immediately and buy a car. In fact, buy several cars. Buy them all, I don't know, just get down there, they're great. So let's have a look at this latest incarnation of the Cayenne. As you can see, it's a very, very different beast to what came along in 2002. They've kind of, over the years, they've kind of honed it and shaped it and made it into something that looks extremely beautiful, certainly more beautiful than a lot of its competitors, I think. Let's have a look around the front, because Porsche like to have certain things, styling cues as part of their brand, which makes it recognisably Porsche. By the way, I know no one actually calls it Porsche, they call it Porsche, but you know, for some reason during my videos I usually go back into my Porsche employee mode, because I used to work there for 13 years, so I'm going to sort of flip between the two. But one of those styling cues is this shape of the lights here. This is unmistakable Porsche, this kind of sort of slopey bit there and that sort of roundy bit there, all technical terms as you can imagine. But also they also have these kind of bits here are always raised, these sort of bits over here and over here just above the headlights there, and that is so when you're in the driving position you know exactly where the wheels are, so you can hit the apex of the turn and go around the turn faster and impress your mates. Now, on first glance, it doesn't look that different to the previous generation from the front. There's slightly redesigned grills here, but essentially very similar. Let's have a look round the side here, and again, it's going to be fairly similar to the previous model as well there. Not much in the way of differences there, but Porsche always like to evolve and not revolve. I've said that wrong, haven't I? Evolution, not revolution, is what I was basically trying to say, and I ended up sounding like Alan Partridge. But never mind, they like to make small, tiny tweaks as they go along. They don't like to kind of revolutionize it, they evolutionize it. There we go, I said it right. And then as we go around the back, now this is the main difference from the last model, because you can see the headlights here go across. They're connected by this sort of bit here, a little bit like the Macan, but the Macan kind of squeezes sort of in the middle. This one stays linear with the top of the lights, which I think works a lot better, and I hope they're going to do that in the new Macan as well. And also it's a really nice bit of I don't know what you call it, styling or thought here, that the actual, where are we? There we go. The Porsche letters there are actually encased in this glass kind of bit here, and there's sort of 3D behind that. I think that looks really, really nice. Now, of course, this is a sports car at heart, but you also get an absolutely huge boot. Look at that. You could fit a whole Macan in there if you were so minded. There's also no load lip here, which is very, very nice when you're loading stuff. Slide it straight in there. You've also got a great big amount of space. Good God, there's a lot of space under there. Look at that. I'm pretty sure I could get in that, but I won't because I fear I may damage myself. However, it wouldn't be Bobby Freeman drives I didn't get in the boot, as I usually do, and I shall get in there. Am I comfy? I am indeed. I'm extremely comfy. I could spend many, many hours in here, maybe even a day and a night, but no longer. Now, on the inside as well is where you're going to see a huge departure, probably the biggest departure, most obvious departure from the previous version of this, because if we have a look in here, they basically, for this version, they took it way more high end, and this one's got the red and the black interior, which is one of my favorite interiors ever, and just makes me feel, I don't know, makes me feel like a badass, which obviously I am anyway, but you know, it just makes me feel a little bit more like that. But let's have a look at because the previous one was a little bit kind of, it was very nice, but it's a little bit kind of plasticky, more kind of Fisher Price than I don't know, what's a posh version of Fisher Price, something posh. The Dorchester Hotel, shall we say? That's pretty good. Less Fisher Price, more Dorchester Hotel. Would have been smoother if I'd have not had to do a jump cut in the middle of it. But anyway, that's what you get on this show, a bit of authenticity. Anyway, back to the Cayenne. This steering wheel here, you will notice, any fans of any other Porsche cars, this is linear throughout the range. They say that they do that to create kind of a linear quality, but it could possibly have something to do with maybe saving money. But another really nice feature that they have on the Cayenne here, so rather than the 5 dials, the classic Porsche dials, you actually get this one over here, which is a customizable dial. It can actually do lots of different things. You can have like that's a G-force, a G-meter there. Don't know why you would need that, to be honest, but it's nice to have. And you've got your tyre pressure monitors, and I'm actually scrolling through to try and show you a so you can have your sat nav in there as well. Now this is awesome, because look at this. This is actually a night vision screen. So if you wanted to drive around at night with no lights on, you could just drive by looking down there. Just to clarify, that is a joke. Please don't drive around with your lights off by just looking at that screen, because you'll die. But that just kind of demonstrates how high end they've gone here. You know, they're targeting, you know, Mercedes and BMW. Classically, Porsche have always kind of prioritized engineering and drive over kind of bristling with technology like that. But for this, in the Cayenne, you really are, you know, up there with the likes of Mercedes and BMW. It's some great technology on this car. Lots of space down here in the door bins at the side, lots of little sort of nooks and crannies. I think that's the nook and that's the cranny. That's the cranny, in fact, in which you would hold your cup, i.e. a cup holder, an old-fashioned, I probably shouldn't stick my finger in that, old-fashioned 12-volt charger. Nice, big, traditional gear stick. I like that. I don't like these silly, you know, little clicky switches or things. I don't mind the one on the stalks like that what Mercedes did, but I like to have a proper good old gear stick which I can grab hold of. That sounds pretty weird as I'm saying it. And then you get this absolutely massive touchscreen in the middle here. It's absolutely gorgeous, but you do have dedicated button. Let me try and do that so there's no shining on. You do have these dedicated buttons here as well, which change the stuff there. Oh, I better turn that music down because I don't have the copyright rights to that. Where's the volume? There it is. I like to have a few manual switches, so the things like the fan speed there and temperature and the various things along here are all there. Although these aren't actually buttons, they're actually kind of haptic ones. It's one sort of shiny sheet of, oh, there's a Ferrari. Oh, you're just to the back end of a Ferrari. Hang on a minute, it's going to poke out here any second. Right, I swear, a Ferrari. There it is, I told you, Ferrari. Porsche and a little tiny bit of a Ferrari. It's gone again. I tell you, this guy's taking the piss. There it is, Porsche and a Ferrari in one video. You are welcome. What was I saying? Yeah, so this is kind of one big sheet of sort of, I don't know what it is, black, shiny plastic, which sounds like a good idea. It looks very neat and everything, but it does leave a lot of fingerprints, so just be wary of that and always carry a little cleaning cloth. Let's have a look under the armrest. Oh, first of all, shall we see how restful my arm seems? Oh my goodness, my arm's almost going to sleep. Excellent, excellent resters of the arm. I like that. Let's have a look at the storage. Good Lord! Good Lord, it's wow, it's actually not, it is pretty good actually. You'd probably get, there's a little bit of USB chargers there which kind kind of eats into. I'm not sure why they really needed that for, but you could probably get 6 or possibly 8 ham rolls, white or brown, or maybe even those ones with the cheese on top. However, my friends, what's it like in the back? Well, as you'd expect, there is a ton of space in here. Look at that. I think that's possibly the most spacious legroom, or most generous legroom I've ever featured on this channel. That is amazing. Porsche really went to town on making sure that the back feels very, very roomy. Their target audience is going to be people who want to be, you know, they want to be in a Porsche and they want to experience that Porsche sports car breeding, but they also want to be comfy. And let's face it, who doesn't? You can even, I think, yes, you can have these seats going back. Yep, you can go backwards and forward. If you can see that, it's going backwards. Oh my God, that's the whole 2-seat. Ah, that's interesting. So if I want to go forward and the person in the middle didn't want to go forward, then it's tough luck. He's got to go forward. However, I believe that's what you call a first world problem, but I really like that. It's great. So you can maximize space in the boot if you want to. If not, you can maximize space for your knees so they'd be extremely comfortable and bruise free. It also has air vents in the back here, as well as the heated seats here, and a lovely little shelf for which you could put probably one curly whirly if you folded the end over slightly. Plus more USBs there, and another little shelf there, which you could probably get 2 or 3 king-size Mars. So guys, that's enough waxing lyrical and talking a load of old shit about this car. I say we get it out on the road because we want to know, well I do know anyway, but I want to show you how that sports car breeding is brought through into this SUV, and it's not just like a great big lump. So here we are out on the road, and this is where Porsches were made to be, basically. This is what, when you drive this car, when you drive a Porsche, you want to know, has it got that sports car breeding? How does it feel like a Porsche rather than just a big lump of car? And as soon as you get in something like a Cayenne, straight away you feel it. You can feel like sort of feedback through the steering wheel, through the chassis, the responsiveness of the throttle. It's definitely felt like it was bred on the racetrack. And when you're in a Porsche, that's exactly what you want. But at the same time, it's super, super comfy. If you just want to cruise along, you know, you take your back off the power, it's just going to cruise along so smoothly and so nicely. It could be in, I don't know, like a Range Rover or something, even as kind of smoother drivers, maybe even an S-Class. But when you open it up, it kind of transforms and becomes a different animal. And that's really what you want. Yet, because I said before, you know, when people are buying the Porsche, they do want it to be a Porsche. They want it to be fast, they want it to be nimble and sharp and agile, but at the same time, when you getting a Cayenne, you want a little bit of luxury and sort of wafting along at the same time. And we're on the country roads here in Kent, so we've got a few corners to show. So we're just going to put it into a bit of a corner now. It's not too sharp a corner, but straight away you can just feel that it's kind of just, it's so comfortable in the corners. Porsche actually do this option called PDCC. They love an acronym, Porsche, but PDCC stands for Porsche Dynamic Chassis Control. So when you go around a corner to the right, it stiffens up the suspension in the left-hand side of the car, so it makes your corner flat. I'm not talking just a little bit flat, you know, just a bit of stability. It's proper flat, like a race car. I often say in these videos, you know, on SUVs when they handle quite well, I say, oh, it's pretty good, but I'm not going to be four-wheel power sliding it. You can genuinely do it. I've seen it done in was it Stuttgart or Leipzig? I don't know, but there are videos of them online, literally four-wheel power sliding these cars around a slightly greasy track, albeit, but still, that's an amazing thing, an amazing feat of engineering. You've also got the sport mode in this car as well. And we all know what sport mode is. It basically, you know, sort of firms the suspension, makes the throttle a little bit more responsive, basically makes the car a little bit more agile and nimble and, well, sport-like. So, well, I was going to give it a go now, but there's a boring old fart right in front of me. I'm not going to risk prestige cars Kent's Cayenne by overtaking a dangerous manoeuvre. So wait a second, I'll jump to a second bit where I'm going to engage the sport mode. Right, okay, so I've just pulled over and let that old granddad go. So we're going to go out onto the main road here. I'm going to gun it, foot to the floor, kick down. Oh, yes! Oh, that's nice. Oh, man. And this is only the S, don't forget, but it really, really shifts. The turbo will be even quicker. But one thing to note, you don't actually have PDK in the Cayenne. It's a strange reason, right? Don't know what the reason is, to be honest, but even without the PDK, the Tiptronic gearbox is super, super quick. It's not quite as refined as the PDK, but it's still great, and that makes for an absolutely awesome bit of acceleration. But it really is like genuinely remarkable when you think about where the Cayenne started. That, as I said before, that weird kind of ugly looking lump. This thing now is such a refined piece of art, piece of engineering, kind of engineering, almost wizardry, to be honest. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing to drive, and it genuinely does, as I said before, it feels like a Porsche, it feels like a race car, but if you want it to, it can feel like a very smooth car as well. And to be honest, there's not many cars out there where you can get best of both of those worlds, but I tell you now, Porsche really nailed it with the Cayenne. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed my video today, my kind of homage to the Porsche Cayenne. It's a truly wonderful car, and people often say, oh, you worked for Porsche, you're probably biased. I'm not, I'm genuinely not. I just speak from genuine love and admiration. I've driven many different variants of this car over the years, and it just gets better and better. Better drive, better engineering, and better looking as well. And it's a truly wonderful thing. So if you are in the market for one, have a look at my video. You probably just have, because you probably just watched it. Well, why not watch it again? I need the viewing figures, and get out there, select the right one for you, and I promise you, you will not regret it. You will not regret it. It's a truly wonderful car, and a real feat of engineering, and a pretty important part of motoring history. And if you've enjoyed my video, don't forget to press the subscribe button, subscribe to my channel, and of course the like button on the video. And if you want to, if you're so minded and so kind as to support my channel, head over to the Patreon page. You can become an official channel supporter. And of course, thanks again to Prestige Cars Kent for very kindly lending me this car today for my video. Get yourself down there. There's some wonderful deals to be had on some truly incredible cars. I shall also put a link to their website in the section below. But until next time, guys, I am Bobby Freeman. Drive safe.